start, so he drops back to 4th, but Gobert is really pressing hard. He finished 3rd in the previous round, so he's looking good. We go across to Britain, to the British Superbike Championship, and Troy Bayliss is currently 6th on 87 points. Steve Hislop leads the way there. Now, Troy's had his fair share of problems with mechanical things happening and also some crashes, so he's a little bit off the pace. He finished 4th in the first race of the previous round, didn't finish the second round, and obviously he's sitting there 6th, but still pedalling away and doing his best. All right, plenty more rounds to come in the World Superbike Championship. Let's have a look at it. Round 8 comes to you from the USA, Laguna Seca. It's a great racetrack, the corkscrew, etc. It is a little bit dangerous, so not all the riders enjoyed this circuit. Now, the big thing to note here is that it comes to you on Tuesday, July 14th, so in just a little bit over a week's time, between midnight and 2 a.m. All right, it's time to give you the answer for the trivia. Let's hope you get it right. Well, the first Australian rider to ever win a World Superbike race was our own mighty Mick Doohan. Back in 1988, 10 years ago, it was race 2 at Sugo in Japan. Hope you got it right. Wasn't a bad question. Let's press on. Race 2. Here's the action.
Let's see if Troy Corser can do it. He is on the 2nd place on the grid. Keeley to your right on 7. 11 is Corser. Akira Yanagawa and Carl Fogarty round out the front row. It's red lights and then we're going to go green. And that's a good start from Corser and Keeley. And Fogarty is the 3rd relation in that bunch. Does Foggy get it into turn 1?
Second
For Fogarty, but it's Corser. Well, predictions from the studio are absolutely right there. He is going to be a man
Ducati
possessed.
City.
Look at all the Ducatis. There's a Kawasaki there somewhere back in 5th, and it's Akira.
Yep.
Then a Honda.
Yep.
No, it's not. It's a Suzuki. Whoa!
That's Lavia in 4th place. He's the 4th of those red bikes, the Red Bullets from Bologna. Leader Kyalami.
Yeah, then it's Akira Yanagawa on 4. Then Pete Goddard on 6. Then it looks like number 45. Yes, it is Colin Edwards with Jamie Whittam behind him. Neil Hodgson behind him. Then it looks like Haga. Where is Slighty? Well, dear me, Aaron Slight. What can I say? He's the man that leads this World Championship, but he's not going to after this race with this kind of performance, that's for certain. Looking back at Jamie Whittam then.
That's a worry. Colin Edwards' camera we're looking from.
Yeah, Colin Edwards still not getting that start. Honda's really needed to make that start at the front of the field, you know. But Jamie Whittam, we're getting great pictures of. Whittam, can he go one better and make it onto the podium? Here we are then, at the front. Corser, Fogarty, oh, Lavia goes through. Lavia, I'm sure, has gone through.
Looks
on
like
the Ducati of, yes he has, on the Ducati of Keeley. So Keeley goes back to 4th. Well,
all action stuff here. Troy Corser. He's angry, Keith.
Well, I would have thought that had subsided slightly. Subdued was the word I was going to use, but that wouldn't describe Troy Corser at all.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, through comes... That was Edwards.
Yes, it was Edwards.
Forcing his way through there on number 6, Pete Goddard, and making it stick. I think Jamie Whittam's about to follow him through.
He's going to try, that's for
chicane,
sure.
Through the chicane, Lavia.
Whittam's through.
Whittam is through, you're right, on bike number 8, but it is Corser they chase.
And they're going to have to chase hard by the look of this. Carl Fogarty in 2nd place.
Yeah, man of understatement there, I feel, because Corser, he's one race fresh, remember. He's not had a tiring first race, has he?
An annoying first race. Akira Yanagawa looking menacing as he did in the first race. The only 4th on the bike, hanging with the Ducatis at the moment, although Whittam looks like he could join them.
Surprising to see Keeley struggling quite as much as he is at the moment, so the pace is hot.
As usual in Kyalami. Great pictures as usual from our friends at Supersport in South Africa, who are also getting our commentary. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, we'll take it as a good thing, I hope. We're very pleased to be commentating for them, that's for sure. Meanwhile, it's still Corser that leads. Still 2nd is Fogarty, still 3rd is Lavia, still 4th is number 7, Keeley, 5th is number 4, Akira Yanagawa, followed up by Whittam sticking his chin in there in 6th place on the Suzuki.
It arrived a long time before the rest of him, doesn't it?
That's true enough. That reminds me of a few old jokes. Now then, was that a mistake by Fogarty, and has Lavia got the better of him? Certainly Lavia is pushing and shoving. He's all over Carl Fogarty. Carl Fogarty, if anything, is just holding Lavia and the Keeley, who is now back on some pace. Look at how far back Aaron Slight is. I can't count that far.
Number 111 we were talking about, we saw him right back in the pack there. There's certainly some telescoping up. Oh, where's Akira?
Akira went out on the wide line there, I think.
You have to pay to get back in, I think.
After that one, he's in the car park, and under him goes Whittam. So Whittam is up a place, courtesy of Akira Yanagawa deciding to take the scenic route.
And Lavia under challenge very heavily from Keeley, never mind attacking Foggy. Watch number 7.
Yeah, that's been going on for the last half a lap. I think Keeley now got some heat in his tyres and is looking to go for it past Lavia, but of course it's the man they're chasing, Corser, who's just easing away while the rest have to brighten their act up a bit here, otherwise we're not going to see which way Corser went.
Yep, right from the start on cold tyres, Corser could force the pace. The rest seem to have waited a bit to get the confidence, get the heat into their tyres. They're picking the pace up, and of course Troy is looking like he's up and gone. Keeley stalks Lavia.
Troy the boy off the front into turn 1. Oh, look at those bikes shake and shudder as they come across the end of pit lane to get the best line into that turn one right-hander.
Keely's anxious to get past Lavia, very anxious now, but Gregorio making it very difficult for him.
Well, we saw both Lavia and Fogarty put some beautiful passes on people in that first race of the day. Now, Keely has got to manage the one that he did on Fogarty, on Lavia.
As indeed, Foggy leads Lavia, that's second and third place. We've got Lavia number 35. Sean Emmett slapped me down for suggesting that was a totally private bike. We'll get back to that in a bit.
Well, I actually had a bit of a hint at that, but then again, I would struggle to find Gregorio Lavia on a completely private bike. It's not a full works one, that is for certain, but I can bet that Ducati have got a hand in this somewhere.
Sean says it's Keely's bike from last year, effectively.
Well, that's as good as old then, isn't it, really, if it's a last year's bike, considering the modifications for this year. They've got more to come from Ducati.
They have.
New bikes are already being tested, just waiting for homologation. Just watch the Ducati boys go when they get the new ones. Here's Fogarty, fighting with Lavia. Lavia's right there. In fact...
looking good.
Yeah, looking very, very good. Corsa still leads.
Fastest lap to Jim Whittam.
Wow. 44.6, that's hot for lap 2.
I'll tell you what, he's by far the best of the four-cylinder bikes. Behind those Dukes, number 8, we're talking about the blue bike. There he is, Jim Whittam, right on the... Well, he would be on the tail if he took the same line as the best of them.
Yeah, different style, different line, all from the Huddersfield man. Jamie Whittam then, back to form that I've got to say, I breathe a sigh of relief to see James Whittam going this good again.
I'm with you, Keith. I'm absolutely with you. He's such good entertainment on and off the track, but you've still got to put the results in. James knows that better than anybody, and he's doing it. Kira Yanagawa and Colin Edwards closing on him, though.
Well, I've got to say, where are the Hondas? Sticking on brakes or not, as Aaron Slight said was wrong with the Hondas. I'm getting a bit old cynical in my old age or what here, but I've got to say I've never heard of anything quite like that. Brakes that stick on down the straight so it holds the bike back. That's a fairly remarkable comment. I don't think I've heard one like that for a while.
I was never a racer, Keith, so I couldn't possibly comment. But it sounds...
I wouldn't go as far as saying that anyone was telling us pork pies, but one certainly does seem
split
a bit of
fuel line, sticking on brakes. Oh, that's work stuff.
They've obviously been reading the Barry Sheens book of plausible excuses. Yeah, now I'm wondering whether that was the rubber up against the bodywork there that was smoking. I think it well possibly could have been.
Yeah, because I think it was Lavia's bike.
Yes, it is Lavia's bike that's got a bit of a smoky rear end. I wonder what that might be. Certainly that's going to worry Keely, who's behind him, because Keely's going to wonder, is that smoke oil smoke, or is it tyre rubber rubbing against something smoke?
Keely's got
Keely.
a chance.
Keely then, he looked then as he came up and over the hill, but Lavia is hot on those brakes. He's very, very good.
Especially in that corner. He's very, very good in that corner.
Runs it out just a little bit wider. Right, Corsa not getting away now. The pace is upped, and
Keely.
Fogarty is leading the charge towards Corsa. Keely is now in third place. He's got under Lavia.
And he's inside for this corner.
Time.
Yeah, well done, Frankie. Well thought out move.
Well, wouldn't expect much else, would you, from
You would.
Keely? That's a tear-off visor, I think, being waved back there. I'm sure that wasn't anything else. Perhaps it was. Who knows? Italian signals.
Yes, maybe he was telling... I don't think he was telling Lavia his bike was leaking oil. Dear me.
Colin
They're queuing
Edwards
up.
right over that chicane then. Colin Edwards taking the... almost the sandpit route.
And I'll tell you what, Corsa has not run away,
No,
as you
he's
said,
not.
Keith, and look at the queue that's forming behind him. They're telescoping up, as Edwards is going to join him. Akira Yanagawa is right there, as Keely starts thinking about moving past Carl Fogarty.
Yeah, Carl Fogarty's got to watch out here, because Pier Francesco Keely is certainly looking for a way by now. Maybe Keely will be able to tow Fogarty up to Corsa, but it looks to me like Keely is the man to watch again in this race.
Well, that awesome super pole lap.
More smoke from Lavia's bike there, Jules.
It is definitely number 35, Gregorio Olivia's bike, that's doing something. As you say, Keith, it could be a tyre rubbing on bodywork in the corner when suspension compresses up.
11 leads, Corsa, 2 in second place is Carl Fogarty. Then it's Keely in... Right there in third place, here comes Keely! That's a great move from Keely on Fogarty there, as Lavia almost rams Fogarty. Fogarty had to shut the throttle in the middle there. I can't imagine Lavia's bike lasting much longer. That to me looks like oil smoke. I've got to say, something somewhere on his motor is getting a bit hot. It's just dribbling a little bit onto the warm parts of the bike, but now getting sprayed is James Whittam on bike number 8 behind the 35 Lavia. And here comes Whittam looking again at the inside line. Look at Lavia on the outside of Fogarty there.
He's having a go, isn't he? What's the next? Where's he going to put him for the next corner, I ask myself?
What's the next move? Yeah,
Yes.
that's the question. I ain't even going to attempt to answer that one. Corsa still leads. Keely second now. Fogarty third. Lavia in fourth place. Fifth is number 8. That is James Whittam, followed by Akira Yanagawa on bike number 4. Is he going to go?
Yes, and Lavia's out.
Oh, down Lavia goes.
And Whittam follows him down.
Yeah, that's a great shame. Jamie had no choice. And so does Slight.
Oil on the floor.
That's
Oil on
got
the
to be
floor.
oil. That has got to be oil.
You were
That's
right.
Lavia's bike that's finally let it go. and Slight is down as well. He's got back on the bike, so Aaron Slight makes another recovery, just like the Nürburgring.
Is that Whittam or Goddard?
It's Whittam just there. Whittam is there trying to restart his bike. It slid right down the hill. Our camera flattens the hill out. Now I don't know, they've got a bit of it slacking marshalling here.
Yeah, they were in Super Sport as well.
Absolutely, so they need to be a bit quick with the old oil flags and make sure that the riders know that there's some slippery substance down on the track. I don't think I'm being overcritical of the marshalling.
No, you've got to be.
This is the World Championship event.
Precisely, and you called it exactly right. That was obviously oil smoke we saw from Gregorio Levia's bike. You were dead right, the bike wasn't lasting longer. It spat oil onto his rear tyre, down he went, and the domino theory went into action.
Indeed, well, we saw something very similar in the Supersport race, but that wasn't due to oil, that was over enthusiasm. We might have expected that from those boys.
Yeah.
So, still leading is Corsa, the man that was walking on the warm-up lap in race 1. Still in second place is Keeley, still in third place is Carl Fogarty. Let off the hook somewhat, I would say, by Gregorio Levia's exit of this race. And Jamie Whittam too had gone out on that crash, so these three now away on their own on the 3 Ducatis. Well, it was predicted before we came to Kyalami this was a Ducati track. Some of the South African riders we know said that this was likely to be a track for Ducati. Of course, some of the Ducati guys said that no, the Hondas actually are good everywhere. But somehow we had 3 Ducatis in the first 3 in race 1, and lo and behold,
look what's happening. We should have had a Ducati winning in Supersport if Migliorati hadn't have jumped the start as well, of course.
Well, Corsa's caught. Corsa has been caught by number 7, Pier Francesco Keeley. Fogarty is an interested spectator in third at the moment. Let's take another look at this. Gregorio Levia. Oh, you saw that. I saw it go. That went all of a sudden there, as if it suddenly locked up. But it looked like a whole load of fluid dropped on his rear tyre. You can see it on his front tyre as well. Look.
You can look. Yeah.
You can see the slippery stuff's gone on his front tyre too. So Gregorio Levia, unfortunate, but you've got to feel sorry again for Aaron Slight. He's having a bad weekend, but that just rubs his nose in it.
He was hanging on to the throttle as well, Aaron Slight, you saw, to try not to let the bike stall. So Aaron was back on. I believe he's still circulating. He's only got back on, but at the front, it's what matters. 3 Ducatis.
Troy Corsa then obviously using his setup from Saturday and obviously the warm-up today, but it's a good setup by the look of it. So he obviously made the right choice of tyres, suspension and gearing for this track, because he didn't have race 1 to try it all out in, really, did he?
I assume he'll have used tyre information amongst the team from Keeley from the first race.
You would assume that, but of course from rider to rider the choice could change very, very slightly indeed. We heard obviously Fogarty and Keeley were on different rubber in race 1. I wonder whether Fogarty did indeed end up slipstreaming the choice of Keeley on tyres this time. It hasn't made much difference so far in this race.
No, it looks as if Fogarty is having to work hard to hang on to the pace of Troy Corsa and Frankie Keeley, who looked noticeably easier in front. But Carl, as I say that, closes right up. They were bike length apart. I just thought Carl was losing it. Obviously not.
Don't discount any of these 3, I think, at the moment. Remember how slow the race became as the latter stages came on in race 1. They were doing 1 minute 45s, high 1 minute 45s. And I have the same feeling that these guys will be pacing themselves if no one has managed to make a break. But we're only on lap 7 of 25.
Good point though, Keith, about the pacing. But Haga is now in 4th place with a clear track in front of him and is on the case. Just see him coming in the picture.
Second look at this then. Oh, and that's Gregorio Levia. We're about to see disappear. Oh, look at
Aaron's
that. Aaron Slight lost the front end there as Haga survived whatever happened there. Whittam is already down. There's his bike, and you've got already in the gravel trap is Levia. But Haga, well, lucky little Japanese person, managed to get away with that.
The unlucky Japanese person was Yanagawa, who almost came to a halt as he saw James Whittam's bike sliding in front of him.
I would say he was lucky to find the grip to be able to come to a halt.
Very good point. Very good point. Haga didn't have any grip, but he controlled whatever moment he had.
He has no grip on reality. That's Noriyuki Haga.
That explains it.
Tonight, Kylie's Sell-Out Australian Tour comes to television in a world premiere, featuring exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. We invite you to get intimate with Australia's Princess of Pop, Kylie. Intimate and Live 98, 8:30 tonight on 10.
We were asked to build a high-performance engine with an output of 150 horsepower. We then had to design an ultralight motorcycle with a total weight of only 177 kilograms. This motorcycle has the smallest wheelbase in its class of only 1395 millimeters. so far advanced, it will take years for the competition to catch up. Years for the competition to catch up.
Catch Rodney Rude live.
Well, you reckon it'd be a good comedy subject to start off with tonight?
He's on tour and coming to a venue near you.
You know why the Greek blokes wear the thick gold chain round the neck? That's so they know where to stop shaving.
Catch Rodney Rude live at these venues. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss out. Book early.
I'll be back to see him again and again and again because it was just great. Loved it.
It is a truly unique Australian craft product. One which is handmade with passion, skill and creativity. That carries the craft mark symbol.
Kylie Minogue. Her sellout Australian tour has left audiences breathless and everybody wants more. More Kylie is Impossible Princess, the must-have album of the year. With 3 smash hits, Kylie just keeps on getting better. Kylie Minogue, Impossible Princess. More Kylie. Get some now.
Now then,
Leading still, Corsa from Keeley, from Fogarty. But can Haga close in? That'll be the shock of the day. And he is, look, according to that graphic, 3-2, 3-1 and down to 2-2.
Whoa.
So he gained a second on the last lap that we recorded him on. That is incredible. So Haga is the fastest man on the track by the look of that at this moment in time.
so any conservation of tyres and resources by the Ducati boys will here at the front will be rewarded with the Yamaha sideways underneath them.
That's assuming that they are, of course, conserving any energy at all.
I
It
did
might
make
just
that
be that
assumption.
they are slower than Haga, possibly. But oh, here comes Keeley under Corsa. Keeley's had
that.
enough of following Corsa, so Corsa now has to follow his teammate. It is
Adjustment?
Bit of adjustment there coming from Corsa. So Corsa,
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
Well, he is cool, isn't he? So Carl Fogarty sits there with Corsa and Keeley. He'll be happy in third place at the moment, I think, as long as no one makes a break. So Carl Fogarty rides a very mature race. Well, of course, he is at the age of 32 years old now, as if last week.
Is it July the 1st, his birthday, yes?
Indeed.
I see a yellow flag out there.
Well, Haga is closing right in, though. Haga on the Yamaha in 4th place is closing on these 3. So look at the times. The last lap is down to 45 now. So it's been all hovering around the high 44s. And Haga, well, he's raced his game, hasn't he, since qualifying?
Well, that's exactly what you said. If these boys are cruising at all, or
Well, I don't think high 44s is quite cruising, but I've got to say Haga, I think, has met them in the middle here. They're perhaps not quite as quick as they could be on Banzai laps, but Haga is certainly going very quick indeed.
I think I'm overemphasising to underline your point, really, Keith. That they're just not going quite as quick as they can. And look, Haga is bringing Colin Edwards with him to try and rescue something from Honda from what is a very bad weekend so far.
And look who's behind Edwards.
Neil Hodgson.
So Neil Hodgson picking up some pace at last in Kyalami, and dear, he needs to. On lap 9 of the 25, we're on board with Colin Edwards.
Look at all those Ducatis in front of him.
Yeah, a bit of work to do for Colin Edwards.
And also, of course, the Yamaha of Haga is the nearest bike to his camera.
Is it too early to ask you to start working out championships and things, Julian?
Very,
You're usually
Keith.
particularly good at this with our man Aaron Slight down and not quite out. And Fogarty goes under
Same
Corsa.
place.
Yeah, exactly the same place. So Keeley and Fogarty. Oh, look,
Haga.
Here's Haga. He's underneath Corsa. That's obviously why they're in a big hurry to get out of the way, I would say.
And Frankie is making a bit of a break, so Carl had to make the move, or Frankie would be gone.
Well, that is a superb move from Haga. Haga really is on a different race to the one he was in race 1. He's certainly going for it now.
Great to see Haga up there disputing it with the Ducatis, as usual from Noriyuki, the totally unexpected middle 144s all the way from Haga.
Yeah, they're not bad times, they're not. So 44s, they've all been doing high 44s in front of him, so Haga proving the clock right.
I think so, and that 145 you saw would have been the lap when everything went pear-shaped for Gregorio Lavilla and kebab shake for Aaron Slight.
Smart move from Keeley, though. Keeley, having read his pitboard and seen what's going on behind him, he saw Hager on the charge and has decided to get well and truly out of the way.
I think that's exactly right. Killian McMahon. That's why Carl Fogarty pushed through as well. He saw Keeley disappearing. We're on board with Colin Edwards. And that is Troy Corser, the man who is second in the championship now. 2 points only behind Aaron Slight. He's got in his sights.
Well, maybe Corser has... maybe his temper has subsided slightly now, and he's deciding to go for the points. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see whether Corser's got it. Custom, I want to say it's traditional almost for Corser, as through goes Hager on Fogarty. Hager is through, on Fogarty, and gets it sideways. Foggy goes straight back at him, and Hager goes underneath. Well, who was that he went underneath?
That was a South African back mark on a Ducati we saw with the number 1 on the back of his leathers.
That'd be scared to death then.
Yes.
For a second. I thought it was a 7 on there for some reason or another. But anyway, we won't worry about that because I was wrong.
I'm pretty sure it was a number 1 on the back of the leathers we saw going slowly.
I'm sure you were right.
Oh, dear me. There's
yes,
number 7.
There is Keeley. Thankfully.
Yeah, serene progress from Frankie.
I was about to say...
Go ahead.
Troy Corser seems to have this lull in the middle of a race, and we are now witnessing another one.
And he's in danger from Colin Edwards.
How about betting that he picks up the pace again in about 5 laps' time?
I wouldn't bet against it. I really wouldn't. I cannot. When Troy explains it to us after races what was going on, like he's conserving tyres or whatever, but I find it very difficult to come to terms with.
Conservation may be a wonderful thing, but not in World Superbikes. We can do without any of that. Thank you, Troy.
There's no shortage of rubber in the world. Use it up, mate, that's what I say. And
Keeley. Yeah, he's using it up all right, isn't he? So Keeley is eating away at the front here. Fogarty's still in second place, but Hager, as ever, the danger man.
In every sense of the word.
He is a great guy. There is Troy Corser, back in 4th place now with Colin Edwards.
And he's giving Troy Corser the hurry up, and then there's the Kawasaki's. Still have Neil Hodgson in front of his teammate Akira Yanagawa.
Yeah, Hodgson is revitalised here, look. Hodgson's right back on it. So obviously Hodgson's set up for race 1 was no good. He must have got it right for this race, though.
And Akira Yanagawa come back from that stop-go penalty that Whittam gave him.
Out on the track,
here we go again,
Hager.
Close.
Oh, dear me. Well, one thing's for sure, Carl Fogarty would have felt the wind of that.
I bet he did, yes.
Well, he will have wind after that, one or the other.
Steady, boys.
Still it is.
Before 9
in
o'clock.
Second place on number 2. 41 is Hager in 3rd place. Way over the hill, and I mean it...
in the nicest possible manner.
Is Keeley.
Yeah. You'd pay a lot for a ticket to see Hager versus Foggy on any racetrack in the world, wouldn't you?
Yeah, or a back alley somewhere dark. Because I think these two will be going at it hammer and tong now.
They're pulling away from Troy Corser in 3rd place. Keeley's dragging Carl away. Well, he's got the hurry up from Hager, hasn't he?
I think, here goes Hager again sideways. I'll tell you what, this could end up in a collision because Hager is running in so very, very hot at the moment. Well,
Edwards through.
Yeah, Edwards is through on Corser now as well.
Oof.
Well, he'll take one look at what's going on.
Hodgson.
Hodgson as well. Hodgson coming up through. Did he make it? Yes, he did. I think he made it.
He went wide and Corser
made
back.
it. He made it on Corser. He went through on Corser. He pulled Corser in the middle of the corner. The Kawasaki was first out of there.
We're looking back from Colin Edwards. That's a Ducati, which I think is Troy Corser behind
I think
him.
you're right. Well, maybe he recovered to get back in front again because it was a weird and wonderful line that Neil Hodgson had at the time.
Yes.
But he definitely made it in front of him.
Yeah, but if he's the bloke in front of that chicane, it doesn't matter, does it? You can't push past.
It was beautifully outdone by Neil Hodgson.
Overdone, indeed, by Neil Hodgson.
Well, he gets another go at it now. We're looking back from Edwards at Corser, who has, we think, Neil Hodgson behind him, unless Hodgson actually went back behind Akira Yanagawa as well. Looking forward from Edwards.
No, Hodgson in front of Yanagawa and Goddard behind Yanagawa. Where's Frankie? He's away up the street. There he is. Then World War III happening here. Carl Fogarty on number 2 and Akira Yanagawa on number 41. There's the gap back to Edwards in 4th place, nearly 2 seconds. Well, 1 3/4 or near offer. So that's 2nd and 3rd place. Keeley another fastest lap. Colin Edwards looking good now. Then Corser, Hodgson, Yanagawa and Goddard. That's the top 8. You get them in your picture.
Look where Slighty is.
10th place.
Dear me. Bad points again for Slighty.
5 points, Keith. 5 points. We'll do the sums later. It depends very much where Aaron Slight finishes. Oh dear, look at Hodgson in front of Corser now.
Well, he's been threatening, and I mean threatening, all the way through this race, so Well, good news for Carl Fogarty if Hodgson has got in front of Causa.
And Akira
looks at it as well. They're rubbing shoulders in these turns now. Well, everyone says there's not many passing places around this track, but they sure are finding some.
They are, aren't they? This is obviously the first race. They found a few more. And Peter Goddard lurking with intent, number 6 and 8 placed out on the back of the leading group. But Frankie Keeley, Keith, it's going to be his first ever double unless something horrible happens to him.
Question. I think Carl Fogarty is going to go to the top of the championship tree if he can manage this. Keeley is closing in on Fogarty, but Keeley's behind him. No, says Julian. Well, no, that's...
So Fogarty's 17 points behind Corsa, Keith.
Mathematics has never been my strong suit, as you will have noted from some of my readings earlier in today's programme. But who cares?
What the hell? It was worth asking the question.
I raced motorbikes. I didn't go to school.
Yes, how were you reading the pitboard?
Yeah, so when it was thrown at me, I knew I was getting it wrong. So, Causa looks over into the eyes of Goddard because both Kawasaki's are through on him now.
And Hodgson's really making progress.
He is indeed.
Really making progress.
Number 5, Neil Hodgson, leads his teammate number 4, Akira Yanagawa. There's the second place man. Number 2, Carl Fogarty in front of 41 in third place, Noriyuki Haga. Then it's 45, Colin Edwards back there in fourth place, and then in fifth place, Neil Hodgson now shoots into view, and I think Hodgson is closing on Edwards.
Well, he had a fourth place back in Monza, don't forget, rode really well, but the last 3 rounds have been a disaster for Neil. 7th and a fall, 4th and 11th, 7th and 8th. So he needs a result. But look at Haga, Harrison, Foggy. This is the race for the fans, isn't it? They get excited by this.
Oh, this will be a confidence boost for Neil Hodgson, OK. Kyalami is working out now. It certainly looked a disaster from race 1 point of view.
Yes, he didn't. He ended up breaking down, I think, on the lap before last.
Mind you, if you look at disasters and rescuing that, Carl Fogarty, if he gets 2 seconds this weekend after qualifying in 11th place back on Saturday, you've got to say that he should be fairly pleased with that, especially since he'll be closing right in on the leaders in the series.
Next outing is Laguna Seca, which Foggy hates. But Neil Hodgson got his one and only World Superbike rostrum at Laguna a few years ago.
And was very, very fast there in testing when we went out to watch them last year before the Superbikes kicked off. There's Keeley, race leader on bike 7, goes through. He's got a big lead as he goes through the timing lights. Next up's Foggy, next up's Haga. And then closing in now, 45, definitely. Colin Edwards. At last the Honda is coming to some kind of, should we say, championship reflecting position?
Yeah, I know, it's very odd what's happened with the Hondas here. In regular qualifying, they were front row material, both of the Hondas, but in Superpole they went backwards, and the first race, no show basically. The second race, Aaron Slight down on somebody else's oil, and Colin Edwards, we're getting excited now because he's up in fourth place.
Indeed, not a million miles off of the 2 in front of him with Foggy and Haga. So we have 2 Ducatis, a Yamaha and a Honda, and that Yamaha, well, we use the phrase often, on a mission, but I think today we mean it.
He trusts that front tyre, Norrie.
He really does. Dunlop front tyres. You're getting the same thing with the Grand Prix lately with Simon Crapar.
Absolutely.
Dunlop's on the front of his. Not a lot of traction at the back, but loads of grip at the front on Dunlops. That seems to be the characteristic at the moment. So any track that demands a lot of work on the front tyre, then the Yamahas are right in there.
Well, that'd be good for Laguna then.
Wonderful for Laguna. Keeley, he's on Michelin's, so's Fogarty. They're 1 and 2 though at the moment, so Dunlop hasn't got anything to crow about at this point.
The tyre wars apart. Ducati first and second, Yamaha third, Honda fourth, Kawasaki's 5th and 6th, Suzuki 7th. That's what I call a championship. On board with
Edwards then, looking... In fact, that's Slight, is it? No, it is Edwards.
So that's Haga and Foggy in front of him.
It is.
He is closing, you're right. He's really coming up very nicely, about 10th a lap. He's just taking fractions out of them, working his way up to the 2nd place dice. Colin Edwards, number 45 on the factory Castrol Honda.
Just over the end of pit lane then into turn 1. Edwards trying to home in on Noriyuki Haga. Haga saying is in the meantime trying to beat up Carl Fogarty in 2nd place.
Pace is too hot for the Kawasaki's now by the look of it.
Oh dear me, that is something special. As through has gone Haga. Haga then has made that stick. He went underneath Carl Fogarty. Fogarty drives past the Yamaha.
Watch Edwards.
Oh, this is all getting nice and close now. Well, I hope the South Africans are enjoying this first World Superbike race at Kyalami, because it is absolutely stunning for 2nd place. Shane Killy's spoiling the party.
Yes, talking about the noises they're making when Haga attacks. They're enjoying watching Noriyuki-san, that's for sure. This is like the Supersport race at that right-hander there.
Let's hope so, without the crashes, though, for the 2nd and 3rd place men. It is. Fogarty still in 2nd place on bike 2. 41 Haga there in 3rd place. And Colin Edwards, well, he's right on, actually, for where he is at the moment.
He's looking good.
9 and a bit laps to go of this race. So plenty of time for Edwards to pick up the pieces. Haga on a completely different line to everybody.
Different lap, different bit of tarmac for Noriyuki. I think he has potential. He's the first Japanese world superstar in motorcycling, in my view, Noriyuki Haga. We're going to have him around for years. He is sensational. He's exciting, and he's just got that little bit of a screw loose that makes him really entertaining.
Are we talking Superbike here or everything?
Everything.
CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree.
It is a truly unique Australian craft product. One which is handmade with passion, skill and creativity. That carries the craft mark symbol.
Advice for a fuller life from Emu Draft. Friends are valuable. You cannot lift a full esky on your own. Do not be afraid to show your emotions. Some are born with good taste, some acquire it. Read instructions carefully. And most important of all, drink a full-flavoured beer that lets you live life to the full.
Before, when choosing alloy wheels, you had to flick through brochures and then use your imagination. Ian Diffin has changed all that with this fantastic new virtual wheels computer program, the Wheel Wizard. You simply select your car, colour and type of wheel you might like, and bingo, there before your eyes is your car with those wheels and low-profile tyres. The Wheel Wizard. It's new to Ian Diffin's. Come and try it. It's fun to use and makes choosing the right wheel for your car so much easier. Ian Diffin World of Tyres and Mufflers, now with the Wheel Wizard.
Isn't adding up. Homework. What are you doing?
The tax return. My accountant can't do it till next week, so I'm giving it a go.
Had mine done in under 30 minutes. Here. What? My tax return, man. It's all over. Here. Done.
Tax return. Here. Done.
Oz Refunds, the easy alternative.
So you've gained a few extra kilos. Well, don't get upset. Get Trim Away on the line. Trim Away, along with light exercise, is the easiest and most convenient way to lose weight through balanced, tasty, calorie-controlled meals delivered right to your door. What's more, there are no contracts, no shopping, no classes, and no joining fees. So, would you like the number?
Yes, yes, yes.
Call 93782466. Trim Away. There is no easier way.
Second place, Carl Fogarty on bike 2. 41, Haga there in 3. Here's a laugh, I'll give you that. You've only got to watch the way he rides.
Was that what I was really saying, was it? He's a bit of a giggle, is Noriyuki.
I think he is a bit of a giggle, that's for sure. Oh, and he closes in again on Fogarty, but Keeley is long gone. Still it's Edwards there in 4th place. 5th is still Hodgson. Yanagawa, his teammate, is still behind him.
That Yamaha is describing shapes I didn't think I'd ever see a motorcycle make.
Well, you've only got to look where his teammate Russell is. Look, Scott Russell back in 9th place. He's still in front of Aaron Slight in 10th.
It's basically a 20-second gap between Haga and Slight.
Something must be damaged on that bike of Slight, because he's not really making that much progress right the way back now. I think he must be just riding round for the points at the moment. I wouldn't want to be on the inside of his crash helmet, that's for sure, because I bet he's cussing every mile he travels.
Yep. The things that have happened to him this year, that
Akira Yanagawa wants that number 1 in my team place back.
Yes, hello teammates, very shortly coming there. Such a polite guy, isn't he, Akira?
Well, so is Neil for that matter.
Yes,
but I bet they'll still ran into each other around this track. Oh, look how close they are. The two Kawasaki's come down the hill into view then.
And it's spreading out of it. I really didn't think that Edwards was going to put a pass on for 2nd or 3rd place. It's Keeley. No, Keeley's holding station.
Well, he's holding station, but, you know, I feel that gap has just come down a little tiny bit there between the leader and Carl Fogarty in 2nd place. Here it is. We'll take a look at... Well, yes, Noriyuki Haga. Just keep it nailed, Noriyuki, why don't you?
Front wheel went light, landed slightly crossed up, put it in a bit of a twitch.
Rear wheel spinning.
Nothing to
No
worry
matter.
about.
You didn't see his right hand shut the throttle at all. It just kept it absolutely squeezed wide open.
Great stuff from Foggy, though, fighting off the how shall I put it, the banzai attack of Noriyuki Haga. And Edwards...
Well, banzai is going to come later.
Oh,
definitely.
Good point. But it was Edwards, who I really thought was making a challenge, who was going to put a pass on one of these two.
Look at Corsa, slipped to 8th behind Yanagawa and Goddard. So Corsa has really gone down the rankings. So Troy Corsa...
8 points for that.
Yes, that's not...
Hey, you're right, Keith. Aaron Slight is going to stay at the top of the championship, I think.
It looks that way at the moment. Well, no, there's only a 2-point lead, isn't there?
Yes.
He only has a 2-point lead over Corsa.
It'll be a 1-point lead for Aaron Slight if Aaron stays in 5th.
We'll wait and see.
Stays in 10th and gets 5 points. Get it right, get the numbers right, Julian.
Well, I'm glad you're catching it from me, because I'm useless.
Looking down the leaderboard, the normal suspects just picking up the odd point.
Still Keeley leading. We don't get much to see him because, I don't know, that's closing in.
You're
I'm
right.
sure they are closing in on Keeley a
It's
little
come down half a second from like the 2.4s, 2.5s to about 2.1.
Well, the question is it that Carl Fogarty that's now got his breath back, got over those early laps of pushing and shoving and having to watch everyone around him, and maybe Carl Fogarty, who is particularly good at putting a good lap on top of a good lap, maybe Carl Fogarty is now just easing into this race. Obviously the setup is different from how he had the bike.
Neil
Hodgson is sideways there, laying rubber down on the track. I'm just thinking that maybe Carl is getting more confidence in the bike. He's not shaking it about, he's not all over the track like he was in race 1. Perhaps he's just got something still left in that proverbial locker.
2.4, 2.5, 2.2 the gap, so it's moving about a bit, but overall you draw the graph, the line's coming down. There's the leader.
Looking over his shoulder now. Long look then. Wrong side, he thinks, Pierre Francesco.
If I was Colin Edwards, I'd start worrying about those 2 green things appearing rather large in his rearview mirrors, mythical rearview mirrors, of course.
Yeah, it's only Honda men that have done doubles this year so far, with Edwards in Monza and slightly up at Misano. Now, if Keeley can manage this one, that'll be a bit special.
It'll be his first ever double as well. Keeley's never done a double.
So he goes away, well, possibly with super pole, top man as far as that's concerned.
Winning the first race, fastest lap in the first race.
Yeah, gentleman's set, I
used the phrase while you were running around for the studio, Keith. I've already used that one. I didn't credit you for the phrase, though.
Plagiarism, it's always something that we love and encourage here in the commentary box.
And it'll be a good for Ducati. I mean, we kept talking before the start. The 916 is old now. It's had it. It's over. It's Honda. It's Honda's era. It's Honda's 50th birthday. They're going to run away with it. No.
Kyalami was an addition to the calendar, of course, this year. We weren't expecting to be down here at all, but thanks to Vodacom, the people that have stumped up the cash for the event, the South Africans and us are having a real treat at Kyalami.
Yeah, we should have been in Brazil for this one.
I think I prefer it here, actually.
I'll go with that. Now then, Neil Hodgson right on the case of Colin Edwards. Kawasaki number 5, watching the background, really getting close to the number 45 Honda. Oh, backing it in again, he looks confident. That's Yanagawa, his teammate, tailing there.
Keeley dropped through the corner. Fogarty's next up. Eric
2-0.
That's closing all the time. Look at that, down to 2:09 this time. So Keeley and Fogarty are going to have a coming together, and Haga is the fly in the ointment that's likely to cause all sorts of trouble towards the closing stage of this race. We're on lap 18. It's soon to be Keeley's on lap 18. We're on lap 19. There you go. So a bit in front of the lap counter.
And it's interesting that Haga, who we know pushes past the first chance he gets, has not even been able to show Carl Fogarty a wheel for the past 3 or 4 laps.
Keeley, Fogarty, Haga.
1.3, Keith.
Yep. 1.3 it's down to now.
It's tumbling.
This is a real battle coming up. They're definitely going to be able to close the gap. There's no doubt about it. Fogarty is on the charge. He's closing in on race leader Keeley. He will be dragging Noriyuki Haga along with him. Or is it Noriyuki Haga driving Carl Fogarty into Keeley? We'll find out as the race goes on. Now, we can do without back markers messing us up. There is 76 as Izzy Zimmerman. I've already made the joke, so I won't make another one. And to be lapped on lap 19 of a 25-lap race in a World Championship event when we've got wildcard men here that have never seen this kind of quality racing on their home track is no disgrace.
No, that's perfectly acceptable, and the guy kept out the way, kept off the racing line, didn't do anything wrong at all. There's Keeley, and look at the gap visually. You can see it is coming down hand over fist. And the Kawasaki's are pushing Edwards along as well.
I wonder when you're going to bung that in. See, it's Keeley, 7, 2 is Fogarty, 41 Haga, 45 Edwards, and then it is the freight train of Number 5, Neil Hodgson, followed by 4, his teammate Akira Yanagao, almost side by side. Akira looks for the inside line on Hodgson. Does he get it? Well, that's back in the picture. We'll have to wait till they come in vision as they go down the hill here. Look at Harger, he's looking for a way past as well. And Akira did do it. So Akira Yanagao, oh, but Hodgson comes back at him at the chicane.
Oh,
Edwards goes through the sand. Well, that's knocked his tyres right up, that has. And here comes Harger. Harger through. Harger has gone through. Foggy again cut to the inside line to get the drive. And in the way is Edwards of the 2 Kawasaki's. Wow! Good camera work there. We got everything. And you could have so easily missed it, folks.
Carl drives back past the Yamaha, uses that speed to drive right back towards fucking... Harger goes to the inside again. Can't do it. The gap's 1.5. It's gone up on the last lap from 1.3.
So Keely's had to hurry up, and well he might. He only has to look behind him and see what's going on, and that would frighten me into an extra.
You don't want to be in the middle of this, do you?
You really don't. There's a war going on for second place. It's Fogarty versus Harger. Slight is still right down there in 10th, but he's catching Scott Russell hand over fist now, so Russell could lose that nice.
Here we go!
Harger again! Oh dear me, that is so close. Well, this is the World Superbike equivalent of Dodgems, and Harger is just aiming at Fogarty, and he must dodge him.
Aaron Slight still in 10th. Oh dear me, is there much going on behind the 2 Kawasaki's? No, they're well away from the rest of the pack. You're looking at the men who will dispute all the leaderboard places. They're in your picture. And this is the battle of the day, Keith. Foggy versus Noriyuki Harger.
Yeah, it's just lucky that Keely's got that extra bit of pace, otherwise he'd be really involved in all of this as well, because these two, well, the dispute is going to go to the line, isn't it?
Keely, 1.5's a little bit close for comfort. You'd have kept it at over 2 seconds if you could, wouldn't you?
I'd rather have 1.5 than nothing. And Neil Hodgson again lays rubber on the tarmac. Again, he's sideways on the brakes. He does love chucking that Kawasaki. All crossed up. He's a bit motocross style, mind you. He was quite a good motocross.
He wasn't bad, was he? Quite stylish, he tells me.
In his own mind. Still Fogarty second on 2. But for how long? Because Harger's been by.
Foggy's always managed to bite back straight away or out-drag him on the straight. And I think Foggy is...
You can see that up and over the hill. The Duke just pulls away from the Yamaha. Harger really is riding the wheels off that bike. Whether it's because he can't get the power down through the back wheel, maybe the wheel's spinning, who knows. But Harger has not got the straight line speed that he needs on Fogarty.
He's a carburetted bike, of course, 6,000 foot altitude. More difficult to set that than fuel injection. I'm told so, but I wouldn't like to...
It's all about getting air in the cylinder, and of course if the air is less dense you're not going to be getting as much of it even if you fuel injected, I'd have thought, but that's just I don't think we've got turbochargers on these to pressurise the cylinders, but if you want to get technical I'll talk to you after.
Alright Keith, that's just something that crossed my mind. I look at the V-twin Ducati.
Your mind works in mysterious ways, Julian. It doesn't really, I just have to say that. Still leading is Keely, Fogarty in second place, Harger in third place, and Julian's perplexed.
I am usually Keith. Still, Edwards didn't lose a place despite that interesting route at the chicane. If you were feeling mean, you would protest and say he gained advantage, but I don't think we're feeling that mean.
Well, he had dirty tyres. He did well to clean up those tyres. Now then, has Harger gone backwards a bit, or has Fogarty closed in on Keely? I think it's more the fact that Harger has slid backwards a bit. No, it's not, you know. I think he's closer to Keely. I think Fogarty is on the pace. 1.1 was the distance between Keely and Fogarty at the line, I think that's taken
That
from.
is key.
So we've got to wait until they cross the line again to see how that's modified.
The gap goes up and down a bit, but overall trend is gradually down. And you can see there... Carl is only a second behind him.
And we've got back markers now as well as we come to the line.
Looks like Protat.
Looking over his shoulder, thankfully, is Protat. Oh, that's not good because he's taken Keely's eye. It's good for Carl Fogarty. Oh, and we've got a whole bundle of them. Here it comes. Keely perhaps is going to find Protat in his way. There's Akira Yanagawa chasing his teammate Neil Hodgson on bike 5.
Keely past Protat.
Yeah, Keely's past now. Will Fogarty get the sticky end of this wicket because he really needs to be getting by, and Protat's looking over his shoulder, so Freddie Protat's not going to cause a problem for Carl Fogarty. Where's Hodgson? Where's Hodgson?
We've lost number 5,
He
Neil
only
Hodgson.
went about that last half a lap. Hodgson was there. There he is.
Oh,
Hodgson's
down.
bike has broken. Well, that is a disaster. Neil Hodgson's bike has broken, and you have got to feel sorry for this young fella.
Every time it looks like it's going well for him and he's riding well, the machinery does something nasty to him. He's capable of putting in unimpressive rides as well, but every time this season when he has really looked good, something like that's happened, and I do feel for him. His record on paper, Keith, this year frankly looks awful, but he's ridden a lot better than that.
Friday, one of the biggest box office movies ever.
Can you say E.T.?
Drew Barrymore.
Give me a break.
In Steven Spielberg's Oscar-winning blockbuster.
E.T. phone home.
Feel the magic of E.T. 8:30 Friday on 10.
Got a monster appetite? Can't decide on what to eat? Stomp on in to KFC for a Godzilla monster meal. That's 2 pieces of chicken, chips, potato and gravy, a roll and a drink, all for just $4.95.
Looks like we'll need more chips.
See the movie, then visit KFC.
It is a truly unique Australian craft product. One which is handmade with passion, skill and creativity. That carries the craft mark symbol.
CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree.
Just Spectacles for all your optical requirements. And at Just Spectacles, you can buy 1 pair of glasses and get 1 pair free. Buy 1 pair 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 and get 1 pair free. Now you can have stylish spectacles to suit any occasion from Just Spectacles.
I'm Tony Sadler, and if I'm the best looking thing in your room, you need help. Our help to dress up your windows with new curtains. Call the Tony Sadler Curtain Service on 9240 5555 and have one of our trained curtain consultants to come to your home or office free of charge. And our curtain making starts from just $15 per drop. And our curtains and bedspreads, they're made here in our factory in WA. And remember, a house is not a home without Tony Sadler for Curtains. Home base Wembley and Balcatta Road, Balcatta, and our free home curtain service.
Academy Award winner Meryl Streep.
It's big. It's bigger than anything you've ever seen.
Wild Thing star Kevin Bacon.
I shot him. He's dead.
Go, go!
The heart-pounding action thriller, The River Wild. 8:30 Sunday on 10.
Well, Neil Hodgson is out, but Carl Fogarty is in with a shout as we watch Hodgson wait and see it blow up, I'm sure. Yeah, it stops on him, just shuts straight off, and he rides straight off into the dirt. That's the end of that, yeah. Well, I'd have hit it a bit harder if I'd have been you, Neil. In fact, I'd throw it on the floor. There is Hodgson. So 24-year-old Neil Hodgson from Burnley. Yes, and that's the bike under there. That's what he thinks of it. But look at this. Here we are. Keeley leads. Bennett Fogarty is right with him. We're on lap 2 of 25. That's about to be lap 23 of 25. Oh, my dear. Are we in for a race here? Keeley leads onto the straight. Foggy's right with him. Is Foggy going to do to Keeley what Keeley did to Fogarty in race 1? And is Noriyuki Haga going to spoil the pair of them?
I thought, well, Edwards could win this yet, you know. If Haga...
Thanks for that.
That was a cynical thing to say, Julian. But Haga, you said it before, he will not settle for 3rd place. He's going to make a move somewhere.
Why anywhere. Anywhere indeed. So 3 laps to go. Whoa, this is going to be an absolutely stunning race.
He's there,
no doubt about it. Carl Foggy looks again behind him and is amazed and impressed that Noriyuki Haga on the slow old Yamaha
and a trifle worried as well, perhaps.
Almost certainly. But I would concentrate, I think, on the man in front. That's Haga goes sideways. Worst scenario there would be he clips Fogarty and takes Fogarty out. Foggy's had that done once or twice to him as well. Mind you, he's done it to himself once or twice too.
And he's done it to Simon Crowfire as well. So it's what goes around comes around, I think, as you said at the time.
Indeed. And of course, Frankie Keeley and Carl Fogarty have had 1 or 2 comings together, haven't they? A la Brands Hatch.
Indeed.
Carl managed to get underneath Frankie and hoist him completely out of the race and into the sand trap.
Oh, and Kaczynski, he never saw well. This right,
Yes.
fine. The always thing to be done. It's going to be a draw.
I think we've set the scene for what's possible on the last lap.
I think we have, Keith, beautifully there. Just going back through the record books, a three-man showdown for all those podium positions.
Oh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen when this gets serious.
Yeah, Frankie, he's there. And I think Carl must have taken the same time as Frankie this time.
Frankie, he's there, yes.
There's that long look as if Frankie was surprised.
Here we go, down the hill. Well, no, not this time, but I'll tell you, that's the one that he's going to try and put on a little bit later on. Both Keeley and Fogarty is good there.
Well, if you're Hager, you've got to get past a bit before there, haven't you?
Yeah, you have.
He'll be out-dragged.
Yeah, they might still make it to the line before him anyway, depending on how they get onto the straight. So Keeley is still leading on bike 7. Fogarty still second. 41 Hager still third. Edwards is still in 4th place. Neil Hodgson, I remind you, if you went for a cup of tea, has gone out of the race. Oh, and look at Hager. Oh, dear me.
Oh, it's heart pill stuff.
I'm going to have to stand up, Julian.
I know this, we're jumping up there anyway.
Everyone looking round at everyone. Yes, they're all there. We're all going to fight to the end. We're on lap 24 or 25, about a lap and 2/3 left to go in this race. Orsa has dropped to 7th. Slight is up to 8th, so it's still going to be. In fact, it's still going to be Slight who leads this championship.
It is, Keith, by 1 or 2 points. I can't do the sums at the moment.
It'd be brilliant if Fogarty can pick up 25 points as opposed to 20, but of course it will be just as brilliantly for Keeley. Now then, there are just a couple of places where Fogarty is confident enough to make that pass. Watch him on this lap. He'll be having a good long look at it. Up and over the hill now. He looks for the inside line. Does he? No, he doesn't, but he was having a go at it.
He was certainly making a serious move.
Well, that is the place on the last lap where I think Fogarty will make the pass.
But Frankie knows it's coming now.
He knew it anyway. That's where he did it to Fogarty, I think. Now then, the biggest worry is if one of them come together and Hager slides through.
Well, if Foggy goes through, Hager will undoubtedly try and just follow him straight through, won't he?
Watch for Hager.
Oh, look at
Hager is going to be the one you've got to watch for. Great camera, excellent stuff, so we can see it all as the shadows get long in Kyalami. The race is coming to an end. And let's hopefully, with all 3 of these men staying on.
Yes, please. Yes, please. And Hager, number 41 on the other, hasn't been on the rostrum.
Look how close that Hager is now as they come to the line to start their last lap. It is Keeley from Fogarty from Hager. It's these 3 that are battling for the second race here in South Africa. The final lap, it says it all. This is the final conflict of today. I feel that Fogarty is going to be able to do it, but Keeley...
Oh, he's put the hammer down.
Well, yeah, but he's good at that part. That's where he's always faster than the rest, over the start and finish line. But now it gets serious.
They're all there,
From this point onwards, driving. Fogarty buried under the fairing of that bike, trying to get on the tail of Keeley. Can he do it?
And Hager's right there. Yanagawa's attacking further back on Edwards, but it's about the front 3. For my money, Keith, Keeley has saved something. Foggy's going to have a go here, surely. No, he can't.
No, not just this part of the track. There's one place I think that Fogarty might have the pace to do it, and we've got to wait for it. Not long now as Fogarty gets the power down real hard. Keeley's getting on as well. Keeley may just have the pace, but Foggy's perfectly placed. Foggy is trying to stay right with Keeley to make that pass up the inside. Wait for it, up and over the hill. Here it comes. Foggy looks. He goes under Keeley. No, he doesn't. Keeley saves it. So Keeley then has got the race won in my view now, because that was the only sensible pass in place. There's one more, but it's a banzai pass. Wait for it. No. It's going to be Keeley that wins this race then. It's going to be Keeley from Carl Fogarty, possibly. Oh, dear.
Close. Hager's so close as well.
Well, it's going to be Keeley now then. I'll settle for it.
Yes.
Oh, maybe not. We've got the chicane breaking here.
Oh, no. Watch the Hager.
Keeley in the chicane. It's all over barring a mistake. Keeley will win, I'm sure. We've got one more turn. Fogarty blocks that pass from Hager. Keeley will make it to the line. He will make it to the line as a race winner. A double then for Keeley. And we've got to look in the record books for that. He's happy. Fogarty gets second place. Hager gets third. Edwards just in 4th place. Within 5th place, Akira Yanagawa. What a great Superbike race. The first time we've ever seen Superbikes in South Africa. Well, they had to wait a long time, but it was worth it for race 2 today.
That was so tense. And Keeley, what can you say, Keith? Super pole by a margin. First race win, fastest lap in the first race, second race win, and the return to form, the first rostrum for Noriyuki Hager since Donington Park.
Well, I'm all in a lather. I'm sure Keeley will be too. Finds the tricolour, and Colin Edwards comes through, having found the Stars and Stripes before him.
Yeah, for 4th place.
There is Peter Goddard. Sympathies go, of course, to James Whittam, his teammate, who crashed out on Lavia's oil. I'm assuming that that's exactly what it was, because it certainly looked that way to me. And of course,
you're dead right.
Commiserations as well to number 111, Aaron Slight, who fell on the same oil in the same incident. So Aaron Slight may just hang on to his championship lead from Troy Corser.
Equal or a point difference, Keith. I haven't done
the
the
big
sums.
deal is the two men behind them, Keeley and Fogarty, close in on championship points. It is Pier Francesco Keeley then that wins the second race here. There it is. We can take a look at that. There are the standings. Slight, Corser, Fogarty, Keeley, Edwards, Hager, Yanagawa, Goddard, Whittam and Russell. That's your top 10 in the championship. A 1 point lead then for Slight.
Pier Francesco Keeley, Frankie Keeley. You won Super Bowl yesterday. You won race 1, you won race 2. In Italy they say assopiglia tutto.
Yeah, very nice day. After what happened in Misano, I lose a lot of points, but today is the best day because it's the first day I win 2 races. But okay, now we have some more race in front, thinking about, and now I want to say hello to all my parents and all my friends. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it, another round down and out, another round finished. It's such an interesting championship. Not only is this a great championship, but so too is the World Motorcycle Championship. Let's have a look at the next round coming up. It's coming to you from Germany. It's round 9. We're counting them down. We're getting through them. And it comes to you on July 19, right after Sports Tonight. We'll watch the progress of Mick Doohan, and it's becoming a very interesting championship. Don't forget our own World Championship, the World Supers. The next round coming to you on Tuesday. That's something different on July 14 from Laguna Seca in the USA. See you next time.